days I dare to think I was born in the wrong time, tending these hemorrhaging problems before I was alive. This generational trauma, do I call it mine? But if I do nothing, surely I'll be the last in my line. It's all a party over graves I wish would come to life and take back their places. See the terror in my enemies' eyes. Burn down the stages, cut the tapes, and let the newsrooms die. This revolution's convoluted, take it offline. Take it offline. Take it offline. My generation saved the world in our video games. Primal desire satiated, our spirits decayed. This true danger was distraction and a loss of faith. Too disoriented to pick up the sword over lace. This psychological warfare's taking everyone out, digging us deeper till we're too far down to crawl ourselves out. We're at the stage where the plane's descending faster now. Still the people believe there's no way it could go down. Heads up high. Before we're cashless, standing in the bread lines. Heads up high. Before the vax denies us over state lines. Heads up high. I guess it had to happen in my lifetime. Heads up high. I'll be long dead before I give up my rights. Some days I dare to think I was born in the right time. A tourniquet for the wounded out on the front lines. To stop the bleeding and go where I'm needed. My life is more than my own, and this virus starts in the mind. I know my history well, and I recognize abuse of power and overreach with no end in sight. Succumbing little by little just redraws the line until all freedom is gone. Oh, I said heads up high. Heads up I guess it had to happen in my lifetime. I'll be long dead before I give up my rights. This revolution's convoluted, take it offline.
I never hate my race, but until recently I didn't know history class was jacked completely. Found my new family with the team going free. My old family doesn't understand me, cause I am so pro-white. No coke, no Sprite, I am rolling with the public, gonna be more white. I saw them twist history right before my very eyes. Insurrection Day, it's in the book and it's all lies. But now I am alive and well to tell it. But will generations down the line be able to sell it? I've always been a thinker on the search for both sides, but they label me an outcast and they cannot tell me why. Guess I'm just a black sheep, white boy who doesn't hesitate hesitates to make a lot of fucking noise. I'm the black sheep, white boy, and I wouldn't change a thing if I ever had the choice. Cause the red's the color I bleed. Yes, we all do bleed red. I have to protect my family. So why does affirmative action make them not hire me? Even in the countries where I'm the minority. Is my rage just that awesome and no other could compete? Is that what the anti-whites are trying to tell me? Why am I always seen as such a threat? To the point they wanna strip me down till there's nothing left. Old friends from high school, man, I haven't kept one, but I got a new crew and it's where I belong. Cause if you ain't going free, you ain't rolling with me. And there are even anti-whites in my own family. But I am the one who's comfortable with myself. I try to save them from the hate so wildly raising hell. Cause I'm the black sheep, white boy, who doesn't hesitate to make a lot of fucking noise. I'm the black sheep, white boy, and I wouldn't change a thing if I ever had the choice. Cause the red's the color I bleed. Yes, we all do bleed red. I have to protect my family. I heard that Scotland is too white, is Nigeria too black? Don't get your panties in a bunch, cause I have the right to ask. See, I'm the black sheep, cause I call it hypocrisy. And the media will give you emotions, but they will not give you honesty. Yeah, you have your feelings, but I have the crime rate. And I'ma shoot to kill if there's a danger my way. So I do not blame the cops, just the ones who are cowards, who hesitate to pull the trigger unless it is one of ours. Cause he's a black sheep, white boy, who doesn't hesitate to make a lot of fucking noise. I'm the black sheep, white boy, and I wouldn't change a thing if I ever had the choice. Cause the red's the color I bleed. Yes, we all do bleed red. I have to protect my family. So I put my people to death.
but you don't believe in doing your share. But I've learned my lesson, and now I can say the white guilt in my heart is dying away, is dying away. Your movies don't thrill me like they used to do. Your words only chill me, I'm glad that we're through. My heart was yearning, but now I can see the white guilt in my heart is dying away, is dying away. You fooled me a while, you thought you were wise, you even believed I fell for your lies, but the tricks turned on you. Now gladly I say the white guilt in my heart is dying away, is dying away. Your movies don't thrill me like they used to do. Your words only chill me, I'm glad that we're through. My heart was once yearning, but now I can say the white guilt in my heart is dying away, is dying away, is dying away.
And here we are. Is the microphone working? I just saw the screen do a little blip. We're rolling in, going free with a cozy crowd of people who change the world rather than just getting together to bitch about things. That's what makes us different. So I'm glad to see you all. Red Dog is here. Andy Baby is here. Colonel Custard. Wonderful. Azimuth Clark, hero. James is here. Franklin Demigod is here. Can you all hear me okay? Yes, yes, yes. Country and Bluegrass, the nameless one. Great to see you, brother. Wonderful to see everybody who has shown. There's Lavish. Hello and welcome to you. Digital Underground and Rick as well. PFC is here. First Last is with us. Hyperborean Dream. The champions have shown up. Lawson is here. Sinkoi Spartan is here. Tom is here. Hello, hello, and welcome. Did everybody have a glorious Christmas and Yule? I hope you did. I hope you did. Andy likes me better in t-shirts than suit. Rise is here. Hello, and welcome. Art Acrobats is here as well. Welcome, welcome. Great to see everybody. Hey, did you have a good Christmas and Yule? Are you enjoying yourself? How many of you are having a glorious Kwanzaa? I bet a gigantic percentage. I bet there's a gigantic percentage of Kwanzaa celebrators in the audience. Hello to anybody who shows up over there. It's JS is on Rumble, says, need some traffic over here. Yeah, Rumble's not going to tell anybody about us being on. So, yeah, we'll have to bring them ourselves, I guess. Hello to everybody on Odyssey and D Live. There were some late financial gifts on Sunday's Christmas Eve stream, and I will celebrate those gifts and those individuals on this coming Sunday, which we have to figure out what we're going to do because it is New Year's Eve. We're doing the whole thing, Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. Do we stream all the way to the new year? I don't know. That's going to be like more than 8 hours. And I know I used to do that all the time, but I don't know. I'm definitely going to celebrate the financial gifts that we missed this past Sunday, this coming Sunday. If you would like to financially gift over the course of this roll-in going free, you can do so at Entropy, which is up and running. Its URL is in the description below. So is the URL for D Live, where you can financially gift, and Odyssey and Cash App, as well as Subscribe Star. Otherwise, I would like for you to tag me as No White Guilt, the @ symbol No White Guilt, and it will change colors for me. I will see what you have to say. Agreement, disagreement, looking for some education. You want to tell me that you can see my my physique better in a t-shirt than a suit. I understand. Whatever it might be. Let me know. We're going to be talking about this evening about what you want to talk about. How does that sound? You let me know what you want to talk about. But also we're going to talk about a woman in Georgia, anti-white black woman, who has been absolutely just bilking the system. And this is, and she didn't even have to do that. I've talked to you all about this, specifically naming Atlanta. I've been down there and I see these black people that are like alien level wealthy. You're not seeing the wealth like this and in the world before. They don't have to steal. Like she ended up doing a little bit of stealing, but she doesn't have to, because the government, the federal and state governments, put at the very top of the list for government programs, for businesses and etc., getting non-white people started in business and financing their business, and then endless government contracts. My opinion, but check it out for yourself. That's where the money comes from. I really hate when I despise it when I'm with white people and they see there, and here goes another wealthy non-white, and there goes another wealthy non-white, there goes another wealthy non-white person, and it's just these ostentatious displays of wealth, and the white people are always like, must be a drug dealer. No, I mean no. Actually, you know what I should say? I mean yes, because the world is. We've learned some things at the end here of 2023. The year of the absolute year of vindication. We've learned a few things when it comes to the explicit white sympathetic sphere. So I have to make room for a part of myself that's around this area. I've got to make room for it when I'm sitting. So it's there. And it's like another person. It's like to carry around another person. So anyhow, yes, what was I even talking about after I had to do that? So learn some things, and we'll be talking about that maybe this coming Sunday, because I have some updated understanding and perspectives of the explicit white sympathetic sphere, and that are a consequence of the past 6 years of being online, or like 6 years of it, or maybe the totality, we should say, and being able to reach so much more of the explicit white sympathetic sphere than I had been able to do for all of the preceding years, because of people who were petty and jealous and getting in the way, and they didn't like a novel idea, and they didn't like anything revolutionary, and jealous of other things. So, but now I've been able to make the case for Go Free and White Wellbeing. And so we're going to be updating our understanding and I guess in the process of that, and then making proper course correction to continue in service to white well-being 2024 and onward. But I got to ask, what should we do on this coming New Year's Eve? What was that? What was that song? It's like playing in the back of my head. Oh, yeah, Simple Man. Let your friends know that we are rolling in. Mrs. Jess Horst is here. Give the stream a like, please. Let your friends know that we have rolled in. And this is going to be the exclusive friends. These are going to be the people who are really extraordinary human beings that are going to be able to come over and participate as agents of change. Big hearts. Whoever's given me hearts there in the floating hearts. What is that called? The floating emojis over there? Thank you for that. I can see that. PFC. Lift weights. Yes. Linda Hunter, great to see you. Cool, Papa J Magic. Digital Underground is here. Andy says, question. Now that Europe is being invaded, where should Europeans move to escape the sinking ship and start over? There's nowhere, my friend. There's nowhere else to go. So it had to be, it has had to be for generations now, a change of our heart, dropping the old ethno-nationalistic ideas, seeing ourselves as a single people with many countries, and adopting a new set of concepts that would put us in our own story so that we could be the moral champion and actor in our story, which, as we've demonstrated for many years now, wins every time in contests with the anti-white immoral moral imperative that is the social morality of Western civilization. So we need to win where we are. That doesn't mean that you stay in a hostile place or a violent place. You might have to redeploy to another part of the town, the county, the city, the region, even the country, if it gets bad enough, as has happened in our once great countries, Rhodesia, South Africa. You may have to redeploy and to continue the struggle. But to be in the struggle is very different, as I was alluding to a moment ago, than the kind of thing that the vast majority of people are even capable of conceptualizing as struggle. So that's a great question. Thank you so much. Takolo Shi is here. Yeah, feel free, folks. If you have questions, ask me. And if that answer didn't make sense to you, then grab whatever part of it didn't make sense and then say, hey, I'm not quite sure I understand this, and I will speak to it. Thank you very much, Lavish. I appreciate the compliment. Takolo Shi says, tall guys should never wear a tie. Well, what do you consider tall, though? I mean, Donald Trump is 6'2" or 3", or what is he? And he wears ties. And I guess what you're probably thinking is that longer and longer torso makes for this longer and longer tie. The Blue Flame, great to see you, Blue Flame. Linda says, 07. Hello, Jason. Hope you are having a happy Christmas. New Year time. I love it. What day is it? You got Linda, you got some struggles if you're not sure what day it is. I'll tell you that Linda reminded me immediately when back in the day, I used to, this was, before sat nav on your phone, and they even had those sat navs that you could buy that went in your car, satellite navigation, if y'all are unaware of that verbiage. And so before that, I would drive into like 7-Elevens or gas stations or convenience stores, and for fun, I would just mess with people. So I would walk in. I would need some bit of information, but I would start off with something like, I would walk in and I would say, "Where am I?" And They were always like, you are in, and then they would name the town. And then I would say, okay, all right. What day is it? All for my own shits and giggles. All for my own shits and giggles. So Sunday, New Year's Eve, is let me know what y'all think. Would y'all show up here for New Year's Eve if I stayed that late, or is it going to be like me and 5 other people? We're just going to be hanging out. What do you think about that? The other piece, and we're going to get into this story here in a moment, about they're not drug dealers. They're perfectly lawful people who have privileges galore in the anti-white West, and they take advantage of them. Non-white people, there are endless programs. I've seen for myself the programs. I remember many years ago when I got books. One book was like this, and with government programs, and there was nothing that, as a white male attracted to females, that I could get help from the government for. Everything was, there was like nothing for guys like that. If I was going to apply for some sort of help for business, for anything, you can get help. You have no idea. You could get money for like wanting to write a short story from the government, the federal government, the state governments. It's crazy. They're just giving the money. They got so much money. They're just giving it all away. But it's not for you if you're a white guy, unless you have a bizarre notion about what animal you are or what planet you're on. And bizarre meaning as unusual, or you know, whatever. But there are these other endless programs. There are even like self-improvement programs. Where's Rapunzel? Is she around? Self-improvement programs that non-white people get. They go right to their congressman or congresswoman's office, and they're like, yeah, I want one of these things. Bing, there goes your money. And it's all coming out of the productivity. That's what you need to, or people are never going to get, I guess, Jason. They're never going to get it. The folks here will, but the vast majority won't. It's not the digits or the dollars that is money. It's your productivity, your labor that goes away. Your labor. If we ever get to the point that we understand this, then white people will definitely be objecting to giving our labor away, giving our productivity away, giving our ingenuity away. With this notion that it's just like a printing press, people are like, oh, that's some waste right there. Isn't that some waste? I'd do it differently. And then you go back to not caring. But so, yeah, government contracts, everything galore, everything thrown at their feet. What do you want? Promotions, hiring, promotions, awards. In every career, this is the preferential treatment and special privileges given to privileged groups, which are composed of non-white people in the West and a few other groups where white people, anti-white people can get involved as well. Absolutely excludes white males. It's off their labor that all of this other shit is funded. It's like at universities when they forced the football program to pay for all the girls' sports. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But that's what ended up happening. The girls want to have sports too. Well, then let their sports make the money to support what they do, or you don't get to have them. That's what happens. But oh no, we'll just take it from of course, the white people, and specifically white guys, even though the game is increasingly non-white, the stands remain white, predominantly white guys, bringing along their white wives and little girls and everything so they can go idealize these non-white athletes. Rick Freedom is with us. No White Guilt Clips is here, ladies and gentlemen. Roll out the red carpet. This guy, absolute champion. God bless him. Great to see you, brother. Big floating emojis for No White Guilt Clips. It becomes really easy to get to be a wonderful success in your career, to be a wonderful success when you're a part of a privileged group. Becomes really easy to start a business when you get money and legal help and everything else because you're a part of a privileged group, like this anti-white black woman who was stealing from the $1 trillion package that Trump created for the supporting businesses during COVID. And this package has it's been corruption everywhere. It's just massive. Every time you turn around, you find out it's here's another corrupt SOB that has taken millions and millions. And but when they're giving our work, our productivity away, of course they're going to take it. Let me see if we have any more tags. On behalf of all women's beach volleyball fans, I have to disagree. Well, no, you see, you could privately help to fund that. The tickets, if they want, I guarantee you there would be enough guys to finance the women's volleyball. Jay Bishop is here. She says hello to the crowd. Jason, Jay is here. Hello to you and welcome. He says, Tacolo, she says, around 6 feet tall. The tie just intimidates people. What, like a noose? You're going to take them down. You're just going to hang them up there. Hang them high. But you see, I'm just one of those simple guys. I ain't nothing but a simple man. They call me a redneck, I reckon that I am. But there's things going on that make me mad down to the core. I have to work like a dog to make ends meet. There's crooked politicians and crime in the streets, and I'm madder than hell, and I ain't gonna take it no more. Let's pull her up on the screen and let's have a look. Forget about, ladies and gentlemen, the pink Cadillac. Oh no. Black Americans, anti-white black Americans, they don't want no pink Cadillac anymore. Now they want pink Rolls Royce. I shit you not. The jokes write themselves. Aspiring judge steals $7 million from COVID relief fund. Take a look at that car. If there are people in this world who don't have a lick of taste, Shalia Robertson, 62, and she's already like a filthy rich. In fact, let me see if I can find like beyond imagination, filthy rich woman. Is it here? Is it in this one? Maybe it is. We'll pull that up in a second after I look at this. She has a house that's a castle in Georgia. In Georgia. Blacks have it so king hard in America. They just have it. I weep every day. Tell our kids to just say no. And then some panty-waist judge lets a drug dealer go. Slaps him on the wrist and he turns him back out on the town. If I had my way with people selling dope, take a big tall tree and a short piece of rope, I'd hang them up high and let them swing till the sun goes down. Well, you know what's wrong with the world today. People done gone, throw their Bibles away. They're living by the law of the jungle, not the law of the land. 62 years old. She has a house called like Chateau de My black ass is living large. It's called something like that. You will see in a minute. Defrauding the federal government of more than $7 million in COVID-19 relief funds, which were used to buy a Rolls-Royce car, a pink one. How does that song go? What was it? Pink Cadillac? I got a pink Cadillac. No, that's not. What is that song? It's not Pink Cadillac. Shut up. What are you trying to get me in trouble? I got a pink Cadillac. We got to get out of here. We got to make a decision. Popeyes or Kentucky Fried Chicken. I love them both. A jury deliberated for about 13 hours over 2 days before finding Shalitha Robertson guilty on 3 counts of wire fraud and single counts of money laundering and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Robertson and Atlanta. So let me just quickly tell you, she's a lawyer. It's going to say that right there. She was also a police officer. So let me see. Did she get that law degree? And did she pass that bar the same way that white males have to do it? Did she? I'm wondering. Probably not, is my guess. But maybe. Did she become a police officer with the stringent standards that white males have to go through? Probably not. I mean, check it out for yourself. Maybe she's a one-off. But with all of these programs to get rid of white people, particularly white males, let's be realistic, particularly white males, with all that going on, they got to give the goodies to somebody. And so probably got the job because she's a black female. Probably got the law degree because she's a black female. Probably passed the bar because they needed more black females. Didn't we just do a story from IBM, which I got to pull up again because I love doing that president, imitating him of IBM, where he's saying your pay can be reduced if you lose non-white people relative to white people. So not only is there a bonus for getting rid of white people, increasing the percentage of non-white people that work at the company, but you actually lose money if you lose non-white people relative to white people at the company. So with these programs going on for numerous generations, despite what like Zoomers are saying, it just got bad, like last 5-6 years, despite that, or despite what all the other generations that are saying it got bad during their generation, open your eyes, open up, open your eyes. I mean, thankfully, your issue is not that you're at the proctologist's office and other things have to be bent over. No, thankfully, it's just your eyes that you have to open up here. Open up your eyes. It didn't get bad in your generation. It didn't get bad when you started paying attention. These programs been in place. So law degree, pass the bar, police officer, meteoric rise at the police department. Then decide, why not? This is going good. Everything just coming easy like cake. Why not be a judge as well? In the midst of starting companies that then get massive government contracts, so much so that she lives in what I call a castle. You know, here's the thing. I want y'all to think about this one moment. This one black woman has more money than all of the Southern plantation owners back in the Old South put together. And her castle house is bigger than all those Southern plantation houses. This one black woman. One. And yet your white babies are going to be white guilted for slavery. They're going to be white guilted for black slavery in the United States. Atlanta lawyer, a business owner, who was previously employed by the city as a police officer and attorney, of course, by the city. Don't bother going out there. And even when you see these private firms, it's like of non-whites, it's chock full of government contracts. I mean, this is what happens. Rhodesia, South Africa, all the major cities across the West. This is the exact same blueprint that's followed. Exact same. And you know what white people did the whole time? We talk about it here all the time, don't we? Whoever you are off to that side of me, we talk about it all the time, don't we? Which is that complaining about it doesn't change it. Complaining doesn't change it. Fraudulently obtain the money in loans under the Paycheck Protection Program, PPP. Otherwise, the Shaft the White Race program. According to the court documents and evidence presented at trial, Robertson of Atlanta, who wrote this? What kind of... Like, how many times do we need to know that she's of Atlanta, from Atlanta? Conspired to submit PPP loan applications on behalf of 4 businesses she owned. 4 businesses. And I have read elsewhere that she owns more. How do you do that? Where does she get the time? Where does she get the time? Well, it's real easy when you're able to go to the government and say, I need help with doing the taxes for my business. I got a non-white run business. I need help doing, and you could go all down the line of everything that needs to be done for your business. I need help for, and then they're like, don't worry, we'll make Jason pay. And then I need more money. I need money to buy land. I'm a non-white female run business. I need money to buy land. I need money to buy trucks. I need money up front to pay for my personnel. I need money. So she didn't have to steal anything. This is the height of greed. This is the height of cupidity, of pure avarice. It's like I am just living, as we say down home, high on the hog. She's living high on the hog, and she's like, I'm just bilking these white fools for every dime they have. Oprah Winfrey become a billionaire off of white people. White people just need to die. Remember she said that? Look it up for yourself. Maybe I'm wrong. They need to die. White people made me a billionaire, but they need to die. You would think I'd be totally grateful. If I moved, in all seriousness, in all of you, if you move to China, if you move to India, if you move to Vietnam, if you moved wherever, and you set up business and the population there made you filthy rich, you would love those people. This would be great. They would be wonderful. I love this place, you'd be saying all day long. The people are amazing. They keep choosing me and their dollars just flow this way. But no, because of anti-whiteism, white people need to die. Make me a Rolls Royce. I wonder how many Rolls Royces were made in Africa by blacks, invented and made by blacks. I wonder. So she didn't need to do this, but it's pure avarice. The U.S. Department of Justice also reported that Robertson and a co-conspirator also caused the submission of false tax documents to support the false statements to each loan application. Robertson is scheduled to be sentenced April 11, 2024, and faces a maximum penalty of 20 years in prison. Anybody want to keep an eye on this and see that she doesn't get anything? Anybody? If she were white, if she was a white man, it would be door slamming shut. You know it. If it's a white woman and she can say, white men made me do this and I've been oppressed my whole life, she's like free as well. Free as a bird. No having to sing on the chain gang. You know what I mean? Working on the chain gang. That's the sound. No, they're not going to be singing that. They're going to be singing money, 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 money. That's what they'll be singing, because that's what it is for non-white people in the West. Think about in a system where everything favors you, how you fuck that up. How screwed up do you have to be in a system that favors you everywhere to screw that up? I would be the emperor of planet Earth if I were non-white. If I could somehow take my brain and install it in a non-white body, I would be the emperor of planet Earth. I would have 50 businesses in each of the 50 states, all paid for by taxpayer dollars, all buoyed by government, state and federal county contracts. I mean, give me a break. How absolutely inept do you have to be to screw this up? My God. And it's not only just the legal structures, it's the massive social structures. But yeah, there's still some that screw it up. Maximum penalty isn't going to happen. You watch. Robertson is the second defendant to be convicted as part of the Justice Department's prosecution of an approximately $15 million PPP fraud conspiracy. May 21, the Attorney General established COVID-19 fraud enforcement task force to marshal the resources of the Justice Department in partnership. Meanwhile, they are what's the money value that the IRS is going to be like peeking into all your shit if you're white? That if you get like, what is it, 5,000 on electronically sent or some 500, some tiny amount, I don't know what it is, they're going to be after you. They're going to be after your white ass. You got to prop this thing up. But these folks, for every one they catch, you know how many get away? You know how many they let go? I mean, think about this. Is this COVID-19 fraud enforcement task force going to be allowed socially, morally, but also legally, structurally? Are they going to be allowed to have a prosecution rate that is 50-1 non-white to white people? Are they going to be allowed to do that? I mean, let's say, I don't know for sure, but if you're just looking at a crime, what are the odds that there are going to be more non-white offenders than white people? I don't know. But are they going to be, I mean, would it be okay to even be like half and half where we got half non-white people? No, it won't be. That would be considered racism. That would be considered white supremacy by this task force. And that those people in charge would lose their jobs. That would mean their benefits, their perquisites, their health care, their dental care, their eye care, ability to pay for that car in the driveway and that driveway that's under the car. What do you think they're going to do instead? Oh, I think they're going to instead prosecute the shit out of white people and let a lot of non-white criminals slide. She just must have been really screwed up, this woman. So she bought, it's not saying here, I don't see, it's just saying, well, she got in some trouble. That ain't it. Let's see. Is this it? I'll pull this up on the screen so I want y'all to see her house. So you can see how hard it is to be a black woman in America. Luxury cars, plastic surgery, and more. This is what we found some people spent PPP loan money on. So here this woman is. She's got the pink Rolls Royce. She bought a diamond ring, 10-carat diamond ring for, where was the price on that? Where the heck is it? Maybe if I just do this. Did that not work? No, it's not coming up there. It was like, It was like 150 or 130 or 180. It was some crazy sum of money, $1,000. Let me see if I can pull that up on the screen. Oh, this isn't the right one. I got to find the right one so you can see her house. It's crazy. She's like, here be the palace. Yeah, no shit. There was another one too. One guy had a business called something like Cash Ain't No Thing or something like this. Really? Like you could just pull money out of thin air. I wonder how. Don't do it, white people. Don't you dare say drug dealer. Is this one it? All right. Is this it? Let's see. This might be a video from when she was first charged. And so that's the way they'll be talking about it. For the love of God. Where's the video? Okay. Oh my God. Okay, let's pull that up on the screen. You got to see the house. Us white people, we're just the rich ones. We got the privilege, right? We're just the ones that everything goes good for us. Everything goes easy for us, right? That's what the anti-white narrative will tell you. Tell me what the sound is like for y'all. Let's get into it.
Investigates has learned a former Atlanta City attorney and Atlanta Police Department officer has been indicted on charges that she stole pandemic relief funds. Channel 2 investigative reporter Justin Gray with us now live in South Fulton County, where you've been looking through this new indictment.
Can you all hear that okay? So it's not just an indictment. She's guilty.
Well, Justin, it was just in October that the Renee Group here was awarded a significant chunk of a $99 million DeKalb contract. But this...
So one of her businesses, one of them, was awarded a $99 million contract from the government. These government contracts, you go down to Atlanta, you will see, and we go anywhere, but if you want to see it like on easily, like 100% guaranteed, 10 times before the day is done, go down to Atlanta, to the richest section, and you're not going to see a bunch of white people, but you can go to any city and see these non-white individuals who live in large, baby. Sounds a bit low. Okay, can we turn it up? Looks like that's as loud as it gets. Let's see.
This week, the owner of the Renee Group, Shalitha Renee Robertson was indicted on charges that she stole millions of tax dollars. Hello, it's Justin Gray with Channel.
Okay, there's the gate to her house. There's the gate. And you can see part of the castle home in the background. And guaranteed, this is not the only place.
I'm trying to reach Shalitha Robertson. No answer at the call box to the front gates.
Chateau Royale is what she named her house. I was close. I didn't remember exactly. The Chateau Royale. You all have no idea. We look at the billions going away to Israel, going to Ukraine. We look at these billions, and of course, it's insane. It's ridiculous. It shouldn't be happening. But the cost of anti-whiteism within Western countries is incalculable. The amount of you can't even fathom. We try to do this often. Try to imagine what it would be like if we didn't have so much of who and what we are siphoned and depleted, and then who and what we are denigrated and destroyed and lessened by the mean pathogens that we're infected with. And so that makes us less than we could ever be. And still, even at that much less than we are capable of being, we are able to be fleeced to an unimaginable sum, an absolutely incalculable sum across the West. This woman is not unusual. You will see these pink Rolls Royces. As I say, forget about the pink Cadillac. You will see these pink Rolls Royces and other of the most monstrous, hideous nonsense. I mean, you will see, and if you think their style is ridiculous, you just wait until you see the Central South American style up here in the U.S. You just wait. You just wait till you see what they do to luxury automobiles. So kinds of cars that you could live several lifetimes and still not be able to buy. This ostentatious garbage. It'll be wonderful. Don't worry. It's going to be so good when you have like these V-Rods and you have Ferraris on, and they look like they have come out of Barnum and Bailey. America's going to be so much stronger. I'm telling you. It's going to be great. The West. Let's see a little bit more.
Chateau Royal, the grand South Fulton estate, listed with the Secretary of State as the principal address of Shalitha Robertson's company.
Look at this. I bet I can tell by looking at her that she is an omnipath, and her IQ is probably like 195, and everything she touches, she immediately just memorizes and can immediately figure out 1,000 ways to do it better. I can tell because that's the kind of person you would. And then also there are like clones of her. There are several of her to be able to be working on all of this different stuff all at the same time, so that it could just, people look at folks and they're like, how did he do that much in his lifetime? He's only 20, whatever. How did he do it? He's had help. He didn't get more hours and minutes. I mean, if you've been sitting on your ass, that's different.
The Renee Group. Shalitha Renee Robertson is a former Atlanta police officer and Atlanta city attorney who currently has a lucrative contract with DeKalb County worth millions to repair.
What they say again? How many millions? 99 for the one business?
Sewage and water systems.
For the sewage and water systems.
She's also just been charged in this federal indictment, alleged to have stolen $7 million in COVID relief, Paycheck Protection Program funds, and in.
So he says can't hear it. I mean, that's as loud as it gets. I don't know what to do. There's the volume. He's just saying the same thing I'm saying, that it was charged with stealing. Her part of the overall was $7 million. Her partner was another female, black, non-white female, was in on it.
To help keep people employed during the pandemic.
And of course, that was the PPP, came under Trump. It was $1 trillion just under for business relief. And so people just eating it up. So that's it. I mean, really, we don't have to listen anymore, but especially since it's not audible. But that is Shalitha. Shalitha. Now, what did I tell you? House infinitely bigger than any of the Southern Plantation mansions. Have you ever gone to them? We have a bunch. Not a bunch, but we still have them left over here in Virginia. Some of them had to be rebuilt because the United States was extraordinarily vicious to the Southerners in the Confederate States of America. They just burnt down everything. And back then, when you like burned down the barn and the house and you took the livestock, everybody died. That wasn't a time when you could be like, oh, well, Guess we're going to have to go like a couple blocks further to the next grocery store. No, that's when everybody died. So there are still some left, though. You can go to them, as I have, and they are tiny compared to where Shalitha lives. I mean, in fact, I've noted before, I've told you all before, the majority of my apartments that I've lived in, no bigger, and in fact, smaller than some of the slave quarters that were on the properties of these plantations. So she's living large in a house infinitely bigger than the plantation owners, more wealth than all of them put together. There's one black woman, in my opinion. Check it out for yourself. And yet your white babies are going to be condemned for the evil of being born white. And they will have to work their asses off to make amends to Shalitha. That's why Shalitha gets the $99 million, whatever it is, contracts. Yeah, no food stamps back then. You just died. And that brings us to our next item. Oh, I did want to tell you this as one of the announcements. YouTube kindly took down my video that I did, my short little video of my appearance, where I told everybody that I appeared on Red, and then it's another Frozen thing. And they decided to take that down. So you won't find it on the channel anymore. But I did appear with Henrik and Lana, and you can find it out there on YouTube, of course. I don't want you to go anywhere but YouTube. I hate all of the other platforms. So here is against the door, and I just want you to stay on YouTube. But I did appear. We had a glorious time. It's about an hour. Let's see. Yeah, about an hour and 30 minutes into it is when I show up. And it was filled with laughs and good time, and be back there, invited to return. So I'll be back there this coming year. It's going to be fun. It's going to be follow us over. It's going to be wonderful. But they took it down. You're not going to be able to find it on my channel anymore. I didn't take it down. So if you're looking for it, you're like, what happened to that really great video, Jason? It's gone. YouTube took it down in their infinite wisdom. I don't know why, but I'll try to find out. So I'm still looking for, if you have an idea for this coming Sunday, New Year's Eve, what are you going to be doing? Are there going to be enough of us with nothing to do, or enough of us who don't want to drive out, don't want to get out on the roads and risk being in an accident with a drunk driving idiot that we should just stream on through? I don't know. Let me know if we should do that. Sunday, normally it would be 5 to 9:30. And I guess technically we could celebrate every hour that it's New Year's, because it will be New Year's for our people every hour, but starting at 5. But I don't know. Let me know. But of course, here it would be 8+ hours to go all the way through to midnight and maybe a little bit after. So tag me as No White Guilt to let me know. But this brings us to our next little issue of a story, which is truly unbelievable. The anti-whites in Wales are using white little girls for refugees, please come visit me videos. And when I saw this, I was just frothing mad. We'll pull it up in just a moment here. It's truly unbelievable from a colloquial point of view, to use unbelievable. Totally understandable and predictable to understanding anti-whiteism and how it operates. Jeez, just sickening. We'll pull that up in 1 minute. Samuski says, I'll be there. So if we do it, you'll hang out with us. Cool. Kingdom of Inland is here. Cool Papa J Magic and J Bishop both raise their hands that they will show up. Mandy is here. Hello, Mandy. Mandy asking, will there be a drinking word? Oh, so like I say a certain word and you all have to then drink upon the hearing of that word. JK160 is here and Nancy Drew is here. Welcome, welcome. First Last will be working. He's got to work through the evening. You didn't just die. Your community would take care of you, and you would be part of a community for times like these. We also had generational families asking or taking care of one another, says Tukoloshi. Janice is here. Hello and welcome. Jules is here. Welcome to you as well. Tennis nuts. Tennis nuts. What was that joke I told y'all on? It was one of my Sunday jokes. How did it go? It went something like this. A guy was on his way to the grocery store and he passed I think I set it up as like a political protest. Is this how it went? I might be mixing them up with two different jokes. On his way back, on his way to the grocery store, he saw two tennis balls on the side of the road. He picked them up, put them in his pocket, gets his groceries, comes back. As he's coming back by the protest, which is a bunch of these anti-white Antifa, one of the Antifa said, what do you got there? He said, I got tennis balls. And the Antifa guy said, oh, that must hurt like hell. I used to have tennis elbow. Something like that. Truck Nuts, Mestizo Carve is with us. Al Heindel is here. Great to see you. Man, those tennis balls, if tennis elbow hurts that bad, son of a bitch, those things are swole. They are swole. Let's make sure this is working. And then we will proceed. We have wow, already the fun has just begun. And we have your and my number one, absolutely reliable, like the changing of seasons, dude bro moment. Let's get it out, folks. All year long. Talk about a champion. 007, quadruple 07s, raucous emojis. Throw this man some gems out, not tennis balls. Give this man some gems. Maybe the kind that Shalitha would buy. The 10 carat for the $180,000. Throw this man out some gems, some crowns for his head. It's dude bro moment. Financially gifting 50 white well-being dollars. My God, man. And as always, he writes with those 50 beautiful dollars for white well-being. Those are testimonial dollars for this man. God bless you, man. God bless you. Testimonial dollars. He can see that this is the year of vindication and that we have been right all along. And we're going to continue being right and doing right and recapturing our destiny, no matter what happens out there in the world around us. And it's going to be in large part due to champions just like this one right here, dude bro moment. Thank you all for celebrating this hero. We also have open borders and open borders for Israel. He financially gifts $5. He says, hello from Australia, Jason. Well, a big hello back to my champions and white well-being down under in the land of Oz. I normally can't make your stream because I work during the day. But can you believe it? It's like this community has so many people who work. You go to other communities and they can, their content creator can start streaming in the middle of the night, and they pour in. Nobody's got a job. Everybody's living in mom's basement. It's hilarious. So he's normally working. So good. Thank you. Good for you. He says, but keep up the amazing work, Jason. And remember, everyone, go free, all capitals, exclamation point, $5 financial gift with that glorious testimonial. Thank you for being an adult, my friend, and working and contributing and creating a platform for yourself so that you can participate in a real way, a substantive way in service to white well-being. That is open borders for Israel, down under in Oz, and Dude Bro Moment over here on Entropy, up and running just fine. Over here on D Live, it looks like I'm Calling the Police has donated, and God bless you for that, my friend. Donated 2 ice cream cones, and then of cryptocurrency, and then donated, financially gifted 6 bells. So we got financial gifts of 2 ice creams and 6 bells in the quirky little cryptocurrency over there at D-Live. Thank you so much. I'm Calling the Police. And big hello again over there on Rumble. We have, I can't read the name. It's blurry in that green color that it is. Shredstein says, hi, Jason from Australia. No, I'm Argentina. Are you checking the Rumble chat, Jason? I just did. And hello to you, whether you are in Australia or Argentina. Hello and welcome. And remember, tag me there as well if you want to get my attention. And then we have over here on Odyssey, it looks like, let me refresh it just in case. I don't think there's anything new over there, but let me just refresh to make sure. We have some that we have to share this coming Sunday. Bravely bold Sir Robin rode forth from Camelot. He was not afraid to die, oh brave Sir Robin. He was not at all afraid to be killed in nasty ways. Brave, 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 brave Sir Robin. He was not in the least bit scared to be mashed into a pulp, or to have his eyes gouged out and his elbows broken, to have his kneecaps split and his body burned away, and his limbs all hacked and mangled, brave Sir Robin. His head smashed in and his heart torn out and his liver removed and his bowels unplugged and his nostrils raped and his bottom burned off and his penis. That's enough, minstrels. Search for the Holy Grail, ladies and gentlemen. And looks like we're refreshing over here. And nobody tonight so far on Subscribe Star. And we have tonight a champion of champions. He's in there. He's talking. He's living it. He is living for it. It is First Last. Let's celebrate him. Big salutes for the first and the last over there on Cash App. Financially gifting a cool $51. $51, and he writes with his $51, go Dvorak, wanting the change in, of course, the keyboard layout. God bless you, my brother. Celebrate him. Crowns for First Last. Crowns and gems. Crowns, as many crowns as we can fit on his head. Maybe one for his nose, a couple for his ears. Then he would start looking like an African king. One for the bottom lip. First Last, $51. God bless you, brother. Thank you so much for that. 51 white well-being dollars. Let everybody know that we are celebrating. We're having a good time. Cool Papa J Magic says a crown for the bottom lip. What the? Yeah, you just like, and you stretch it bigger and bigger. It's really, really attractive. I remember in elementary school seeing that for the first time, and I was like, oh, wow, she's looking good. Had it stretched out. Yeah. No, too bad we don't do that kind of thing. Unfortunately, you may not like the Bravely Bold Sir Robin, and I force Rapunzel to listen to it. It just comes out of me from time to time. Con Artist is here. Well, hello. Bobby Boldly. Thank you for celebrating Dude Bro Moment with the trophies. One of Western Kind is with us. Great to see you. Have you all seen this story? Al Hengel says, I'll be throwing a party with no white guilt. Well, we'll see. So we got a couple votes for Nick. Nick is here. Hello. Nick said, hadn't heard anything. Well, some psychotic anti-whites, that was apropos, wasn't it? Some psychotic anti-whites decided that they were going to use Pretty Little White Girls in Wales to encourage refugees to come to Wales and to tell them about all the programs that the white people in Wales have put together just for them to fleece from the white people in Wales. Isn't that nice? Anti-whiteism for you. Year after year after year. Anti-whiteism. And all the old vehicles failing at doing anything about it. But, yeah, we should stick with those old vehicles. Because if you don't, then the masses will hate you for it. So let's see if we can find the video. Well, good Lord, that's not it. There you go. Okay, here we are. This is the beginning of this god-awful. In fact, and let me read. It was somebody had tweeted about it, and then Kate sent it to me because she saw it. Where is it? Here it is. So it looks like this content creator on X wrote, the most vile and brutal crime problem in the UK are the rape, sexual assaults by legal, illegal migrants from Africa and Muslim countries. Recently, the Welsh government decided to use 14-year-old girls to attract migrants, presumably from Africa and the Middle East. What does this tell you? I saw that there's some question about, is it specifically targeting Ukrainians? Like, was the origin of it to be for you? But you're not going to be able to say, oh, but you're not going to run that for the non-white refugees, right? They're not going to, they wouldn't, anti-whites would not single out, this is just for the white ones. We wish they would, but they're not going to do that. Like, I would love an American immigration policy where we said, okay, the country's full, nobody is coming in, every illegal is being kicked out of here so fast, generations later, they'll still feel the boot up their ass. But our brothers and sisters are having problems in Rhodesia or South Africa. They want to get out. Doors open. Come on in. We'll pay for everything. That would be something I would be happy with. So you know, though, that they're going to be saying that this is going to be for, so is it going to be, how many languages would this be translated into? How disgusting. When you hear again and again and again, and the story we have to follow, but again and again and again about these white little girls being brutally raped by these anti-white non-whites. How many times? It's a regular thing. And the sexual assault takes various forms. They can be surrounded and raped standing up. Perhaps some of you remember how many of them were there? I mean, it was like dozens. The spate of these attacks, they took place in France, they took place in Germany. It was all in the news. Look it up for yourself. And, you know, maybe I'm wrong. But these brutal, we just had the one in, it's so many, it's insane. Little girl brutally raped and killed. And then the attackers given almost nothing. Where they should actually be drawn and quartered. They should actually be tortured in public, in my opinion. That Jason guy's a de-escalationist. That Jason guy just wants everybody to be passive and just wants to say please. It's the tards. You gotta, you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Let's listen to these little girls invite their rapists into the country. Potential. Potentially.
Hello and welcome to Wales. We understand being a refugee isn't easy. They go through so much. Fleeing your country is...
Can you hear that? I mean, that's kind of quiet. What the hell? I don't want to have to... Yeah, where are the... Lavish says, where are the parents of these girls? WTF. Exactly. Where are their parents? Well, the problem is their parents are infected with meme pathogens. And they believe that the anti-white immoral moral imperative is the morality of the day. It is indeed the social morality. So doing this is a good thing. Doing this is a moral thing to them, which is why for so many years I've been arguing that the conflict is about the morality that we bring to the fight for our well-being. It's got to, and since it was psychological warfare that implemented this harmful, this baneful anti-white morality, we're going to need something that is also psychologically warfared, empowered, maybe to say, to undermine it and to assert a new morality. So in other words, people hear me sometimes say, the midwittery out there sometimes hear me say, well, you need a morality. And you're like, I'm Christian. Christianity was defeated, wasn't it? That's how we are where we are today. Don't feel special, though. Everything was defeated by anti-whiteism. So you can't say, I'm Christian, I have a different morality. Christians have been saying that for generations, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. So we have to assert the white positive morality done by using the concepts in Go Free, the meme curatives, using our concepts and putting us into a new story, etc., where we are the hero. Can everybody hear it?
difficult, but Wales wants to help you feel welcome.
Wales wants to help you feel welcome.
Welsh Refugee Council is here to help you. You can contact them here.
And these are the Welsh offices that you can reach out to.
Wales is seen as a nation of sanctuary. We welcome anyone and everyone. We recognise your skills and talent.
Wales welcomes anyone and everyone. We recognize your skills and talents.
Welsh Refugee Council offers a lot of support, including
ESOL classes, which means English for speakers for other languages. It may be hard to...
So all the money that's spent, all the money that's wasted on all this English as a second language. Don't teach them English. Don't teach them. Let if Black people want to use Ebonics, let them talk in Ebonics.
in our language, so we offer support. Employment. You may feel stressed about employment, but we can help. They help you to apply for bank accounts.
You may be nervous about not being able to get a job, but trust me, we will give you a job that a white guy we just fired from. No worries here.
Child benefits, and they can help with housing. It's very important to have a warm place that you can call home.
And when the next, so this video has come out, what we need to do is keep an eye on Wales and the next brutal rape, gang rape, murder, these pedo prepping gangs or whatever. Need to keep an eye on the next thing that is able to percolate up into the news. And then we can say direct connection to this, to what they're doing. And you'll see what the parents will say. We know that these different government entities like CRS will move in to immediately ensure that the parents show total obeisance to anti-whiteism, say it had nothing to do with race, meanwhile, had nothing to do with race. While we watch these videos of anti-white non-whites showing up in white countries and complaining about it being too white. But it has nothing to do with race.
Education.
The thing that your average white person needs to understand, this is what we have to communicate. One of the things that has to be communicated is that you don't have to be pro-white to be able to be against anti-whiteism. Pro-white for the average white person means something very different than for white people in the explicit white sympathetic sphere. But, you know, I know they're going to be all up in arms. I know it. The midwittery, they're going to be like, Jason says don't be pro-white. He's a Jew. He's a Jew. All right, bovine heads.
Children have the right to education. Play for children. We know how
So your children will get educated if you come to Wales.
important it is for children to socialize. Help finding doctors. It's
Medical, they're going to give you the medical. Meanwhile, if you're white in that socialized shithole of healthcare system, you'll be trying to buy your way over to the United States, just like they do in Canada, to get yourself some healthcare. But they're going to make sure that you got plenty of healthcare in that socialized shithole of healthcare that they have over there.
It's extremely important to have healthcare.
Not only this, but Wales offers free education and healthcare.
Free education and healthcare. Wait, is there anything in the universe free? No. So in other words, on the backs of the white men in Wales, they will be given healthcare at no cost to them, education at no cost to them, and then they'll be given a preference for hiring and promotion, government contracts, and starting their own businesses, just like Shalitha.
There are many job opportunities here in Wales. IKEA.
First Lad says he wants to decline the crown for his bottom lip. All right. I mean, it's really hot. It's really hot. It's a really good looking thing, but okay.
Works closely with the Welsh Refugee Council, providing jobs for refugees that come from all over the world.
On the screen now are some basic Welsh phrases.
Shemai.
Hello.
Broda.
Good morning.
Prenanda.
Good afternoon.
Nostar.
Good night.
Sitoiti.
How are you?
These must be specifically, audience, help me out here. Are those specific Welsh words? And they're like giving you a little lesson here at the end of the video.
You.
We understand that you have been through a lot.
Look at this. I mean, I'm not going to get, it's too late. It's 10 p.m. here on the East Coast. But I want to just I was volcanic with rage. These are little tiny white girls that they essentially, because of anti-whiteism, they're swinging out there like bait. I mean, but it's not a surprise. Look at all these mothers who bring their children to these library readings from demonic ghouls. And you see all these videos every time. It's all these mothers. There's almost never a father present. It's all these mothers with their children to come listen to a demonic ghoul read how Bobby became Betty and breeds with Fido, and then get up and do a little dance and strip for them. I mean, I've watched the videos, and you can go watch them and see if I'm being inaccurate here. I want you to get a broad view. Go out there in the world, get a broad view. I've watched these videos. And what do we see? More of this. And then I guarantee you, when it comes to this, the fathers didn't have anything to do with it. And you're going to say, but Jason, why didn't the fathers intervene? Can dads intervene? Can they? Socially and legally, do fathers have any standing whatsoever? We know they don't. So the first female that stands up and says, why didn't the guys do anything? Boy, she needs to get shouted down. Why didn't the fathers step in? Yeah. Another one of those, can't take any responsibility. Guilty, but can't take the responsibility.
And that is why the Wealth Refugee Council is here to help you. Thank you for listening.
These are cute little white girls. They should be doing cute little white girl things, whatever that is. Not welcoming refugees. What do we see? I'm going to start getting mad. I can't do it. What do we see pouring into our countries in the West? Do we see loving non-white families? We know there are some coming in. I mean, it would just have to be the case. And they come in and they have little girls this age and they want to be friends. But what's the vast majority do we see? Men. Hordes and hordes and hordes of non-white men pouring across the borders. Their countries are so bad that they just left their women, their wives, their daughters, their mothers behind. That's how bad their countries are. They left them all behind and said, no, I'm heading over to this Western country. Okay, I guess that's it. This can only happen because anti-whites believe they have this parallel thought process. The victimization, and really can just be, you can look at the coin sort of multidimensionally, both sides at once. The victimization of Western civilization, the eradication of what we produce as white people and have produced, is a moral thing to do. And so offering your daughters and sons, we see these videos all the time of these little white boys going out and being ganged up on and getting the shit beat out of them by the children of these migrants. Offering your children up on that is part of the duty of obeisance and obedience to this morality, the social morality of anti-whiteism. If you don't acknowledge this, if you don't realize that this is really where the power of anti-whiteism is, where the power of the anti-white is. If you don't acknowledge this, then you can never contend with it. You can never challenge it. We have the formula to beat it, and we beat it all the time. But that doesn't matter. I know it doesn't matter for the vast majority. So we are going to be forevermore a place of the special forces, the advanced placement, the people who can get it. And it's up to us to save little girls like this from anti-whiteism. If we don't do it, it won't be done. Just know that. That's what haunts me. That's what, when I'm trying to go to sleep at night, when I wake up in the morning, occasionally throughout the day, I realize that it's us. We're it. There is a little white boy and a little white girl somewhere, an old white man, an old white woman somewhere, a white guy at his peak, a white woman at her peak, that are in seconds from that moment that I think about it, going to be victimized, maybe the end of their life. And if I'm not thinking about the totality of my people with this concern and love for them, if I'm not doing that, first of all, that's immoral. But secondly, that next second that it's a white little girl or white little boy or white old man or white old woman or white man or woman at their peak, it'll be somebody directly connected to me that it will happen to. I am not going to live my life acting like a herd animal that, well, as long as there are enough of us, the odds are that, it'll finally get, come to us or whatever. No, I'm not doing it. I don't care how sick the white race has become, how much they reject and rebuff that mentality. I'm going to go ahead and live it. So when I take my final breaths, I know that I will have done everything I could do, irrespective of the liars and cheats and usurpers and co-opters and the people who won't give credit and on and on and on. Irrespective of all that, I'll be able to be judged by whatever finds me afterward, even if it's only in my dying moments, my own conscience. Sickening. I would love for the fathers of these little girls to be empowered with our morality and then to burn down, if it wasn't fathers behind this, and I doubt it was, just by looking at all of the other situations where it's these mothers bringing their white children into these hellish ideology. If it is a case like that, to burn down the mother, to burn down the schools, to burn down everybody with a moral system that wins. So the father is the champion. And that's going to be important for how the children, how these little girls interpret a righteously angry parent. Because if you're a parent and you hate our victimization, you hate what's being done to us, and you want to put a stop to it, what's happening with your children, nieces and nephews, and you go into that contest playing the villain in the anti-white narrative, which is not, I know the midwittery out there, they get this all wrong. They're like, well, we are the villain or whatever. I mean, it's so stupid. But if you go in there like that, your kids will hate you. I'm old enough to have seen that prediction for you happen many, many times before. I'm old enough to have seen children decide they hate the parent. Numerous times. I'm old enough to have seen and have had and told to me, listen, people come to me and they say, what am I supposed to do, Jason? My wife is doing X, Y, or Z, and I'm opposing it. That's anti-white. And the children are learning that what the mother's doing is moral. And then the father goes in there and he plays the villain. He uses a bunch of racial slurs, and he wants to just demonize all Jewish people and demonize all black people and all of this sort of thing. The kids hate him now. What am I supposed to do? Well, you blew it, buddy. I still give them the tools. Go back. You can amend things. If you want, you can call me with, I really have done this for people. You can call me with the kids in earshot. Put me on speaker. Let me talk to you about it so that they can hear. If you want to do that. And then some have taken me up on it. But you're not going to win in their eyes by being the immoral asshole. You're not going to, especially little girls. Oh, well. Let's see what y'all are saying. First Last says John DeNugent's daughters. First Last, Don Black's son. Yeah, the most well-known content creators that at different times had gigantic audiences and were the most articulate at discussing our situation and who's responsible and all of this sort of business. Their children hate them. Why do you think you're going to do better? Why do you think that formula is going to give a different result? So, anyhow, Escape is here. Great to see you, brother. Maverick is here. Hello and welcome. Remember, tag me as No White Guilt. Reynold White Wolf is here. Wonderful to see you. Okay, James was saying, yes, it's Welsh. So that what they were sharing, those words at the end, beautiful, beautiful people. It's a beautiful hue of Western civilization. This is what I'm talking about. To serve white well-being, a prerequisite, which is the presupposition, is that if you are going to be for white positivity and white well-being, then you're going to want to preserve all of these little different hues in the West. People get like nervous. They come to me and they're like, but Jay, what about my specific, in my area, in my little part of Western civilization? Are we going to, if you don't articulate that this particular hue is going to remain, then it won't remain. And I'm not staying with you. And I'm like, then just go. Because what I've created here is a formula that results in that remaining. In fact, in that becoming more vivid. You know, all of this all across the way, all long haulers in the white sympathetic sphere know this problem of people showing up and they're like, if you're not going to change this one thing, if you're not going to articulate this one thing, then I'm out of here. And it's just, are you kidding me? Do that at the Alamo. But the presupposition is that if you're white positive, you want to end the victimization of Western, you love all the different hues of Western civilization that we create, white people create, then all of these different hues will remain. So no ethno-nationalist needs to get butthurt over this. Your hue is not going anywhere. In fact, it's going to get more rich. It's going to get richer, and we want it to be richer. White people love variety. That's one of the things that's used against us. The anti-whites beat us across the skull with diversity, the mean pathogen. They beat us with it because they know we love variety. I would be in, tell me you wouldn't be in heaven. Tell me you wouldn't be in heaven if there hadn't been any anti-whiteism, and in every single Western city, not only could you find the expression of our people there, but you could also find groups and restaurants, celebrating like parades, the richest and beautiful examples of other parts of it. You would love it. I would love it. Let's go to the French Quarter. Let's go to the Polish Quarter. Let's go to the, I want to see, it would be so magnificent. Why? Because those would be different hues on Western civilization that would nonetheless resonate with us because it's the same biospiritual expression. Just like I've talked about many times, we can go to the Middle East, we can go to India, we can go to China, and we can be very impressed. Southeast Asia, we can be very impressed by their buildings, their artistic works. We can go into their libraries and translate it or learn their language and read their poetry, read their prose, and find we're impressed by that, but you can't resonate with it. And I have found that many times this is the case in conversations with, especially a lot of people in Australia who do a lot of traveling to the Southeast Asia, Japan. White people in the U.S. that are near Central America. A lot of people travel down there. And they say, well, it's beautiful. I see the beautiful. And you're right, Jason, though. I don't feel like it is part of me. I don't feel like it's reflecting back at me. It's the same reason why, irrespective of our religion, or even if you're an atheist or an agnostic, you go look at our holy places that we build, again, irrespective of the different religions, and you feel it immediately resonate with you. And that's because why would it be different? Why would it not be something that is in us to project it onto the world? Why would it not be that? I mean, wouldn't it be weird if it wasn't? That's what would be weird. If those birds, whatever, I've referenced them a couple times and I've got to look it up and see what their name is. But those really smart birds where the male will build a nest, kind of looks like a teepee or wigwam. And then he'll go and collect different color items from the landscape. They could be flowers, but very often they're human trash. And he'll make these little groups, piles of the same color all around this nest. That is his instinct. That is his, and it's more complex than, let's say, a worm's. And so therefore, that is, you can call that this bird's culture. That's what culture is. It is the aggregate of our expression onto the world. That's his culture. That's his instinct. What would be weird, and so where does it originate? In him. It would be weird if somehow he expressed the instinct of a boar, of a warthog. Wouldn't that be weird? How did people get talked out of this? All right, let me see. Name here is with us. Hello, Name here. Bravely bold Sir Robin rode forth from Camelot. Where's Rapunzel? I sing it real loud. She starts laughing. I've been to Mexico about 200 times, and it's never resonated with me, says Samuski. Exactly. Not the people as wonderful. I got to tell you this also. I got to interrupt for one moment. We're going to get into our last item today, and then it's all you all from there forward. But we're going to be looking at the consequence. These little girls from Wales, come in, one and all, free everything. Free, no, or my dad will pay for it all. My dad will pay for it all for you. Come in, one and all. We're going to see the translation for that in New York City in just a moment. But I've had people who have gone into, over the years, have gone into these spiritual or religious practices of non-white people around the world, searching for themselves. Why is it white people are the only ones that have this issue? By the way, little hint. It's white noir. When you're physically, spiritually, mentally diminished and harmed by these ideas that we are impregnated with, infected with, you then have to go on a search to find yourself in the world. Where am I? And guys will, they're guys all the time. They'll tell you, especially when it to most guys circles, the topic is like dating, finding a wife or whatever. And they'll say, when a woman says that, immediately run. It's not a good sign. There's a body count going to show up, a big body count. But they're going out into the world looking for them. Where can I find myself? You're in here. You're in here. It's not out there anywhere. It's always been in here. But in here is poisoned. So you look at it and you're like, that I don't want that to be mine. And you wouldn't want it to be yours anyhow if you're anti-white. And if you're going to live in their narrative, because that makes you the villain in their story. And nobody wants to be that. But I've had these white people who have gone to find themselves out in the world. I went and stayed at this one woman. My God. Went in like every country in Southeast Asia and everything by herself. searching for myself in the rainforest of Kakupitu, in the rainy season, when the harvest is brought in from the yellow mango fruit, and the cricket fest, where they eat the crickets that bloom in their millions. They dip them in chocolate. Whatever. They come to me and they say, never found anything. And you're right. As much as they loved Buddhism, or as much as they loved different varieties of Hinduism, or as much as they loved all of these different things and found peace or whatever it was, tranquility, it was always alien. It never felt like them. And that's because it's not. It's not you. Klomp is here. Great to see you. So Samuskis goes on to say, not that people are as wonderful or terrible as they can be, but it always reminded me that I'm in a foreigner's land. You're the foreigner there. Precise. Magpie, is that Klomp is asking? I don't know. Somebody look it up. Which bird does it? And then tell me, one way or the other. Yeah, I've looked at online some of the most beautiful works of other works of man, other peoples of man. And I've looked and I've thought, wow, that's neat. That's impressive. But then I can see, in all honesty to myself, I'm not going to lie to me. I can look at a humble creation of the white race and feel connected to it. So now don't screw that up with anti-white white people who create the opposite of what they feel in themselves. They know, anti-white white people know better than non-white anti-white people what the inversion is of our true spirit. So anti-white white people create some of the sickest shit for us ever, because they know what the inversion is in their marrow. Oh, he's blaming white people. He's blaming white. And we're not supposed to take responsibility. We're not supposed to. We're not going to take responsibility for, don't know what responsibility means. Okay. You don't have to. Go elsewhere. Not everybody's going to make the cut. Okay. Janice says, what's a good resource to those insinuating that families of blue-eyed blondes are the result of inbreeding or any other negative thing? Thanks for the question, Janice. Now, the problem is, off the top of my head, just to quickly answer, I'll have to get back to you. Isn't that what we do in business? We're like, if you don't know the answer to the client's question or prospect's question, you're like, I'll get that for you. You never just say, don't know. But I will tell you this. Irrespective, now if it's for your own education, or maybe you want to share it with your kids or whatever, grandchildren, that's cool. But whatever is said somewhere else is not going to trump what is said in the anti-white narrative in which we live. So even if you found a book, and this is essentially the historical revisionist approach, even if you found a book, you could consider it like the scientific revisionist, or you could say it's the scientific original or whatever, that says, okay, this is preposterous. No, so it's not true whatsoever. Even if you found that, the anti-whites are going to reject it. They're not there to play a ball and be intellectually honest with you, right? They're not going to be fair. Now, the people that you share the information with, they know this about the anti-whites. They know that everybody else thinks the opposite. I'm talking about generally. I'm not talking about inbreeding or any of that sort of nonsense. They know that's the case. So even if you're able to say, well, this book has, this author has covered it and talks about haplogroups and it talks about all these different stuff, it's resolved here. they know that they can't accept that information for presentation or sharing in the rest of the world, because they realize that they will look as crazy as you do sharing the opposite. So instead, you attack the individuals who are articulating the position. You attack their motive. You attack their morality, which is immoral. You attack them for being anti-white. And by doing so, you destroy their claim. So the objective, Janice, is to take down the claim that blue eyes or red hair or any of these other things are a result of systemic inbreeding. The purpose is to pull it down. And since the anti-whites, dominate the universities, the high schools, the middle schools, the elementary schools, the primary training, secondary training, the news and entertainment, since they are everywhere and they're pushing their garbage, and scientists at universities who get their funding from anti-white investors are willing to say anything that will support an anti-white position, since all that's there, there's no way in hell you're going to find an author and say, this proves you're wrong. It just doesn't work. So since our objective is to defeat their accusation, attack them for being anti-white, and it works every single time, 100%. As I've said, if it's like for your own education or edification or whatever it might be, then we'll find a source. But that's a preposterous claim, and there are many of these preposterous claims, anti-white claims, backed up by reams of evidence. Okay, in the anti-white sphere, at universities galore. I talk often, I used to back in the day, about Piltdown Man, and that was a fraud to prove the theory of evolution. I'm not giving an opinion one way, I don't care. But the claim, of course, with the theory of evolution is these minor changes, and then the English find in Piltdown this skull that looked like half monkey, half man. And for a generation, that was considered, they found the missing link, and it was touted from the biggest, most prestigious universities in the UK. And then it was proven to be a fraud when the next generation of scientists came along, and a couple of them from Germany said, we would really like to analyze the bone or the material. So this next generation of scientists in the UK drilled down into it and smelled burning flesh and realized this is not a fossil. This was a fraud. This was a monkey skull with a human jaw slapped onto it. So at that time, if you had said there's no evidence, there's no in between monkeys and people, everybody would have said you're crazy as shit. They have it at the most prestigious university here in the UK. How dare you? Troglodyte. So there's no use in taking that on. Just go after go after the morality. Let me tell you, we beat the anti-white immoral moral imperative with a white positive moral imperative. You can't sully it with white negativity. You beat it, and it's like dominoes. Everything else that they've done will fall. Every single thing else that they've done will fall, including claims that, oh, white people are all inbred. Thanks for the question, by the way. Great opportunity for people. Maverick is here and says, no one killed. Promethean hails, champ. Well, big Promethean hails to you as well, my friend. So what ends up happening when you bring, one second, when you bring these folks into the West, when you're little Wales girls, and they're like, please come, my daddy will pay for everything. My mommy knows best. What ends up happening in the country? Well, we found out. We found out just the other day. Let's go ahead and pull that up on the screen. And we find out again and again and again. And it's so sad that since white people don't see ourselves as a people, we have this selfish, individualistic tendency that we get shocked that it happens. God damn it, whatever. And then just go back to, well, what about me and my immediate family? I'll just hide them somewhere. We'll just go hide somewhere. 2 teenage girls stabbed inside Grand Central on Christmas Day by man, therefore you know he's non-white, who allegedly wanted, quote, white people dead. The suspect was charged with several felony counts, including a hate crime. Now, what's interesting about this hate crime, we'll pursue the hate crime charge. We'll see if it stays. But actually, let's jump down to the news. And a New York man with a lengthy, it would be white man if it had been a white guy that had done it. So you know this is a non-white guy with a lengthy rap sheet that narrows it to a couple different kinds, is facing an array of charges, including that of attempted murder and a hate crime after he allegedly stabbed 2 teen girls inside of Grand Central Terminal on Christmas Day, according to the New York City's Metropolitan Transportation Authority, the MTA. So, come to Wales. Daddy will pay for everything. All white people need to die. 2 girls aged 14 and 16 were visiting from South America. Now, that's interesting, isn't it? Because we have a hate crime charge. And having lunch in the Grand Central dining concourse when they were stabbed around 11:25 a.m., officials said. Remember when white people used to say, well, if you're just get out of Dodge before the sun goes down. I mean, all of these safety maneuver, these little like safety strategies are just, now it's like any time of day, any place. And can you imagine that we've had to live like that for generations? Meanwhile, we had to live with, in the white, people want to know what, generally in the anti-white narrative, they'll talk about what's taught in the white family, what's taught in the black family, like when it comes to police. In a white family, what we're taught is to shut up. You say, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. That's what white people are taught. Because then you won't get beat up. You won't get shot. If you disobey, they can escalate to the point of killing you. That's the law. So white people share this. I don't know exactly what they're sharing in most black families. Apparently, it's not. If this claim was that they have to teach their kids so hard because they got to teach their kids to be scared of the police and to walk on eggshells. If that were the case, then none of them would be getting shot. If they acted like white people, the majority of white people, when police come up to the car, white people are like, I got my driver's license ready. Yes, sir. No, sir. Total respect the entire time, even when they're being unfair. And this is coming from a guy who had a police officer kick the shit out of me when I was a minor. Pulled a gun on me, kicked the shit out of me. Then I was totally surrendering. No fighting back, no nothing. So this is what white people are taught. And if black people were actually taught to be totally afraid they'll kill you, then they'd be behaving a lot more like us. On average, not in every case. I'm remembering when Obama was president, you remember with a black guy owned a house, but then he was like snooping around his own house and the police show up. He's snooping around his own house and the police officer goes up and he's like, what are you doing? Why are you snooping around this? And the guy's like, I own this house. It's late at night. Can't get in his own house. I mean, come on. If I'm wandering around the place I live in the dark and I'm like fiddling with the windows and the police show up, I'm not going to be able to just say, oh, this is my house. And they're going to be, oh, no worries then. Go ahead and keep fiddling with the windows. We're just going to go get some donuts. Right? That's not going to happen. You remember this? And then the black guy goes crazy, calling the police and the police, of course, the whole 9 yards. And then Obama decides he's going to intervene, the president. he's going to intervene, and they're going to have a beer, and then come to find out that the white guy is police officer, hates white people, does nothing, serves no volunteer roles for any white people, volunteers for all these different black groups, black kitties all over the place, nothing white. Come to find out. I mean, how much can the white guy do? So 11:25 in the a.m. This is the world we have to live in. Without further incident, the suspect identified by authorities, 36-year-old anti-white Stephen Hutchison of the Bronx, was placed into custody by nearby officers less than 1 minute after the initial report. And that comment right there is all for the benefit of an anti-white run city. They want to say it's a safe place. You just come here. Don't worry about it. And in fact, the mayor ends up saying, when he gave his press report, ends up saying, talking all about the way people feel about whether or not they're safe there. What about the people that were stabbed, you POS? What about doing justice for them? He's just concerned with what people who want to spend their vacation dollars are thinking about. Well, it's a violent hellhole created by anti-whites. The stabbing took, so the terroristic stabbing, anti-white terroristic stabbing took place. So this guy, Stephen Hutchison, is an anti-white terrorist, okay? Took place as the teenagers ate with their parents at a French cafe located in the Grand Central Dining Concourse. Hutchison, according to police sources called by New Yorker's ABC 7 News, flew into rage after he was told by the staff that he could not sit near the teenagers. So this anti-white black terrorist wanted to sit near. In fact, he went up and he said, and I don't know if it says it in this account, that he wanted to sit with the saltine crackers. He didn't use saltine though. Anti-white slur. Wants to get near the little girls that he's perceiving as white, but I'm wondering if they're not, which is why the hate crime charge is being employed here. But he went on this giant tirade, using all kinds of anti-white racial slurs before he actually said white people need to die and stabbed the two teenage girls. The victims were transported to Bellevue Hospital for evaluation, officials said. 16-year-old was repeatedly stabbed in the back and suffered a collapsed lung. By the way, first of all, mentally, both of them are ruined for life, right? This is a trauma that they'll never outgrow. They could become totally functional adults and everything. This horror will be with them for night after night after night for the rest of their lives. Not every night, and it might get less over the years, but it's never going away. Some psycho anti-white POS wielding a dagger coming at you to kill you and repeatedly stabbing you. That's not going anywhere. Why isn't the article full of the mental, emotional trauma? Why? Because we live in an anti-white world. What remedy can we effectuate? We can adopt a new white positive morality, and we can communicate that to each other. Can we take down the news organ or organs? Can we take down the government? Can we change the political atmosphere? None of that can be done. So complaining about this and saying this needs to be done, that platform needs to be, is to do nothing, is to have an excuse to do nothing. Collapsed lung. So now we're talking about mental and emotional. Physically, a collapsed lung and the repeated stabs, not to mention that, of course, a female is very concerned with the way her skin looks. This young lady at some point is going to want to wear a bathing suit, and she's going to have, depending upon how she scars, massive wounds on her back. And her sister was stabbed in the leg. So how would you like to have, guys, just for a moment, try to really think about this, how important a girl's appearance is to her. Even if she's a bookworm, she's going to want to put on the bathing suit. She's going to want to go out with her friends. She's going to go to the pool. And every single day, both of these girls, every single time, they're going to want to go to the pool. They're going to want to lay out. They're going to want to put shorts on. They're going to want to wear a tank top. How about going out to a fancy restaurant with one of these tops that's kind of lacy in the back, and you can see the back of the one sister, just to go to a nice restaurant in a fancy outfit. And every single time is going to be a reminder of this attack. No, who else, and by the way, who else is thinking about these two girls this way, except for those of us who are white positive? Nobody. They're all focused on the black guy. That's all. Why is that? Because he's their bee nest. If they just get rid of that guy, then they don't have to worry about it happening to their daughters. No concern whatsoever for these girls and how the rest of their lives are going to be lived. But you're going to have the scars, and then you're going to have the internal damage. You don't collapse a lung. You don't shove a knife. This is not Hollywood. You don't shove a knife or a bullet through a part of the body, and it's just, oh, no big deal. No big deal. You just maybe hit some meat or some fat. There's all this empty space. There isn't. Right? This is who knows what kind of problems this could cause her in the immediate and long term. The girl who was stabbed in the thigh, by the way, you think, well, she's stabbed in the thigh. That's not a big thing. Really? Did you know the size of the artery and vein that runs down through the leg? You hit that thing, you're dead in seconds. Reminds me of the two black guys broke into a black guy's mansion. Another one of those multi-millionaire black guys. They broke in and they were stealing from him. He happened to be home. They didn't know it. They were just going to go ahead and fill their bags, kind of reverse Santa style. They were going to fill their bags and get out of Dodge. And this guy ends up being home. So they pull a gun on him. And then they decide, well, we'll just shoot him in the leg and we'll jump. He died instantly. Hutchison, who has 17 prior arrests, 17 arrests. You could probably count 9 or more crimes for every arrest. People have done the research before about how many times a criminal commits a crime before an arrest, for each arrest. And is considered by law enforcement sources to be an, quote, emotionally disturbed person. I would say a terrorist, an anti-white terrorist. He was arrested twice in the last 6 months. Prior to the attack on Monday, Hutchison was most recently arrested last month after he threatened to shoot someone. Quote, I'm going to shoot you. I don't care what kind of green card the government gave you, he said, according to the criminal complaint against him that was highlighted by the New York Post. Open your mouth and say something. I will shoot you right now, close quote. Sounds like a nice guy. Law enforcement sources, according to the Post, said cops did not find a firearm on Hutchison, but did recover a knife. At the time, he was charged with possession of a weapon, menacing, harassment, and assault. Are they going to ban knives? They would like to. In the UK, isn't it difficult to travel with a knife? How about Australia? Isn't it difficult? How about Canada? I mean, it's all like all these female policies that would be applied to children. This is what we've ended up with, folks. This is what we've ended up with. All these female policies, like why would you need a baseball bat? Talking about a baseball bat. Why would you need a cricket bat unless you were going to a game? Why would you need a knife longer than... This is how women deal with children. Is it not? Is that the kind of world you want to live in? Ridiculous. Yeah, the decision, the conclusion is always just take everything away from the kids. Just take it all away from them. He pleaded guilty to both the November 7 and July 24 weapon possession arrests. Okay, so this guy was a total villain and should not even be. Is he even a citizen of the United States or no? Oh, yeah, that's what he says here. He admitted that such incidents in Grand Central Terminal make people feel unsafe. Aren't you happy this guy's in charge up there? Quote, anytime you have incidents in these high-profile locations, it sends the feeling of people don't feel safe. And whites are getting murdered, raped, stabbed, shot, heads cut off, gang raped. Yeah, we don't feel safe. And that's why we have what now? And that's why we have to zero in and make the arrests. So that's what this anti-white terrorist himself, the mayor Eric Adams, says. The reason why you have to make arrests when people are raping and brutalizing the population is because it will make people who potentially might choose New York as a vacation spot feel unsafe and then not come spend their money here. That's why you do it. Is that why you do it? Mayor? I don't have any respect for any Western government anymore. I haven't in a long time. They've never served us. They've never been of us at all. None of any of us alive today. They've always been anti-white our whole lives. So what's interesting also about this is that I pulled up NBC News. And you know what's the interesting thing about the NBC News is that they don't say that he wanted all white people dead. They tell you the other things, but NBC, the anti-whites at NBC were like, let's leave that little part out about killing all white people. They say a man arrested Christmas Day stabbing. Okay, victims age 14, 16. And Midtown Manhattan. The girl's injuries were not considered life-threatening. Really? Is that if they weren't treated, they would have died, right? Okay, so this Hutchison anti-white terrorist said, according to NBC, quote, "I don't want the white man to get at you." When he was in this restaurant, he asked to be seated by the girls, told the staff members at the French restaurant, quote, "sit with the crackers," close quote. But this is what's great. In NBC News, it said, quote, "sit with the crackers," close quote, "an anti-white slur." NBC said that. This was not being said before we started doing what we're doing. It was not, anti-white was not being used by the mainstream media. There was no concerted effort to put the word anti-white into any holistic body of thought. It was rarely, you can go ahead and look back. Look at Revel P. Oliver. See if he said it. Look at George Lincoln Rockwell. Look at William Pierce. I'll wait. Go ahead, because I've already been through it all. You could go through all of them. Look at what's his name over there at War. Go ahead, look at all of them. Look at how often they used the concept anti-white in their speaking and writing. Some of them never. Some of them once here or once there. It wasn't until us. But that's okay. That's okay. Just, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. It's just for us to know. It's just for us here to know, and white positivity. What else did this guy say? Well, they say it was an unprovoked attack. And then they too at NBC wanted to assure everybody that within 1 minute, who subdued this anti-white terrorist? He was charged with attempted murder, first and second degree assault, and first degree attempted assault, all as hate crime. So they attached the hate crime to it. So my question is, and I'm serious here, are the girls actually white? Or would they identify as Hispanic? Would they identify as something other than white? And that's how the hate crimes is being attached? Or was it because this guy went on a tirade with just a slew of anti-white slurs, and so to not tack on hate crime while saying it before and during the attack would have been maybe just too much for the loss of credibility that they would have had with the readership, the viewership? I don't know. But we'll also see whether or not the attaching hate crime stays, the charge, because we've seen it before where they attach it and then quietly drop it later. Sometimes they give an explanation where they say, well, it would have made the case too complicated and we figured we could get a conviction this way. Sometimes they don't even bother to give an excuse for why they take away the hate crime charge when it's on white people. But nonetheless, this anti-white terrorist perceived these South American girls, which there are plenty of South American, Central American too, who are white. So they very well could have been white. He perceived them as white and went on his anti-white terroristic attack. Not a single thought being given for them, and no remedy to this phenomenon than what we have provided. You can complain elsewhere, and you can say, well, all blacks got to be removed from the country. You could say that kind of a thing. That's not happening. And you would also victimize a lot of innocent people, even just to grant it for theoretical conversation. So that's the consequence. Here's your consequence of all the Wales little girls, the 2 Wales little girls. Please come to the country. Daddy will pay for everything. And then you can just decide what you want to do. Do you want to rape first and then murder? Or do you just want to murder? What's it going to be? We have a financial gift from another one from Dude Bro Moment. $3 more from our great champion, Dude Bro Moment. I'm going to give you a salute, brother. He says with these $3, regarding blue eyes and incest, nothing beautiful can come from incest or inbreeding. That is an anti-white idea, pure and simple. And folks, that's a beautiful way to just handle it. I mean, magnificent. Well done, Dude Bro Moment. If somebody says to you, oh, they're inbred, that's how that happened, just say nothing beautiful comes from inbreeding. And everybody knows that blue-eyed white people, people want that color eyes, or they're happy to have it in their mate, or they're happy to see it in their children or their parents or whatever it might be. Well done. That's awesome. Nothing beautiful can come from incest or inbreeding. That is an anti-white idea, pure and simple. And besides, you look at the West, of course, and you see that we've passed laws about reproduction with relatives that are too close. Are those laws all over the world too? Were they there before contact with the West? The modern West? I don't know. I seem to have heard read quite a little bit about other areas where they kind of bring first cousins together, and but whatever. Let me see what else we have here. Looks like we are okay on, didn't miss anybody on Odyssey, but hello to you there. We have no more comments on Rumble, but I got my eyes open. Looks like we are clean on D Live as well. Thank you all for being there. Swivel it around this way, and we have no place like home for the holiday. Sinkoi is going to sleep. Good night, and dream Promethean dreams. Yes, well, we're almost done anyhow, so save your phone. Well, get out your raucous emojis. Get out your raucous emojis, ladies and gentlemen, because we have had 007s, Crowns and Gems, Lady Anglo, financially gifting 25 white well-being dollars, worthy of a celebration. Let her hear it. Let her know it. Throw some applause out there. Throw some trumpets, some floating emojis. Throw some emojis down into that chat, please. Big celebration. Lady Anglo, 25 white well-being dollars. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate it on this roll-in on the 27th here at the end of the year. And I will see what you all are saying in the YouTube live chat. And then I think we'll be rolling out. The purpose of us getting together and discussing these things, remember, is we're not doom documenting. We're not just we're not doom diagnosing. We're not just, the purpose of discussing these things is to apply the Go Free method to the news of our lives, the contemporary news where we have to engage with other people. They might bring these things up, they might not. You will hear sometimes at the dinner table a story maybe like this one or maybe different, but you'll have had this conversation here with us and you'll be ready to be a different person when you go up against friends or family or strangers, or you're out there online and you come into contact with people and you want to persuade them. More than ever in 2024, what we have to do is no arguing and debating explicit white sympathetic people online or in person for that matter, but it's a total waste of time. It's a total waste of the study has been done, if you will. We have ascertained all that we need to know. So when you come upon somebody who wants to start a political party, who wants to, a particular type, who wants to craven somewhere in some hole, talking about secession, you just say, thank you, ta-ta, and then move on to somebody else. Move into chats where you wouldn't normally go. Chats, people interested in children's storybooks. Chats where people are interested in woodworking or metalworking or equine pursuits or whatever it might be. Animals in general. And in those conversations, drop the key concepts and, where appropriate, direct people to come back, because there's always going to be attrition. So we always need new people coming in. We don't need to build a colossal audience. We're not appealing to the illness in the population. So that kind of thing is just simply not going to be likely. But we do need to bring new folks in, new fresh blood in, because there will be attrition. People will have things go on in their lives. People can just kick it. So we do need to bring a lot more people to the awareness of the work that we're doing. And we'll continue doing that by way of paying for it with advertisements and the like. But that's what we need to be focused on. Debates with people who have a different motivation are useless. That's really what it comes down to. People who have a very different motivation, they have a crutch they want to use, a scapegoat they want to use as an excuse, a fetish, a LARP that they enjoy, They just have a different motivation. And they like to say that it's in various ways to end the victimization of our people. But that's a pretext to make their fetish, their LARP, sound legitimate. So the testing is done. The year of vindication is upon us. And what did not happen as these colossal things, and there are some other things as well, that predictions we made, arguments we had, debates we had that have come true now. And what do we not see happening? Well, we don't see all of those people who were wrong and all of those who were following those who were wrong in those debates showing up. So that's all you need to know about them, isn't it? So let's focus on our brothers and sisters out there. I mean, there are channels out there, folks, that you've seen them. Channels out there, and there might be somebody that will look at somebody who's talking about some content creator talking about socio-political matters and say, whoa, he's got so many thousand showing up live or whatever. You can go to other channels and they'll have 80,000 people live. They'll have like 5.2 million views in a day. And yeah, you're going to see a lot of white folks that are talking about things other than socio-political issues. But hey, they have to be reached. They're the vast majority of our brothers and sisters. That's where they are. So, and then of course, the MAGA type people, conservative type people, those are the ones we have to get to with these concepts, get them using these concepts, get Donald Trump using the concepts, whether he cares about white people or not. He'll legitimize it. So those are the folks we have to be after. Those are the people we have to be swashing on. We have fought the gallant fight against and won. This is the year of 2023 will forever be remembered as the year of vindication. We have fought the gallant fight and won on all of the points of defending our people, reaching that objective of ending our victimization, changing the conversation of our victimization. It's done. It's resolved. And since they all did not show up after the defeat to say, whoa, I want to go right because this is my objective. Here I am. Since they're not showing up, ending our victimization isn't their objective. Never was. So let them all say, oh, there are dozens of ways. There are all these different ways it can be done, without explaining how it could be done that way, and without an explanation how it's never worked before. Let them say, okay, have fun playing. So this time of year, I always get into like the forgiving spirit. My heart swells and I'm just like, people are people. They blow it. They make bad decisions. They say stupid things. They do stupid things. And I'm not going to let it like vex me forever. I just, if I'm 80 and I'm looking back or whatever, I just will feel pity for them. So that doesn't mean I'm not going to be buddy or anything, right? I'm not stupid, but I just feel pity for them. I wouldn't want to be in a situation where I had to pretend like I cared about our victimization in order to cover the fact that I'm an adult that likes to LARP over something. All right, I'll see what y'all said, and then we're going to get out of here, get into the batting cages. Steve Foster is here. Hello to you. No mean pathogens in 2024. Franklin, yeah, exactly. Loving the thumbs up in chat. Yes. Thank you all for celebrating. LG, I have your financial gift that was late on Sunday. We'll be celebrating you this coming Sunday, so don't miss it, even if you had big New Year's Eve plans. Thank you very much. White Calling is here. Great to see you. Double dude bro moment, wrote Franklin. So true. Yeah, he came in, $50 financial gift, comes back with $3 more in order to share a powerful tool in conversation with obviously unhealthy people. Let's see. Buddy says, anti-white is becoming mainstream, and anti-whiteism is used more and more as well lately. It is. And here in this community, we know we did it, and we are doing it. And I salute, and I will this coming Sunday, I salute Team White Wellbeing. I salute those who have been on the outreach team, the OT, in the past. I salute those who are there now. I salute, because we just keep getting better and better at being able to swash on content creators, big content creators. We know we did it, and we know we are doing it. The reality is that we're going to get no recognition and no gratitude from our contemporaries. If we're going to get recognition and gratitude, it's clearly going to come generation, the next generation. It's not going to come from our contemporaries. We can see it's human. I'm not even going to, and it's because for me, and I can talk more about this on this coming Sunday, but for me, I came into the white sympathetic sphere when I was like actual meetings and at 17, 18 years of age. And there were all of these like old timers, and everybody was older than me, and old timers and guys who were at their prime. And they talked about, and this was all in person. There was no internet. It existed, but it didn't carry any of this. And it was the World Wide Web. And it always felt, and I was coming from sports, so I had a sports mindset, and this was presented, all of the sort of disjointed, semi-jointed communities that were pushing back against anti-whiteism in various ways were always presented as like a team. We're a group of people on this like glorious endeavor, the most glorious thing that you could do in the modern world. And that therefore, if it's a big team effort, that everybody would come together for things or something that worked. But it's not that at all. And the last couple of years have proven that. It is, in fact, much more like basic business, basic sales. You have people who want information that will bolster their prejudices and that will secure their excuses. There isn't a team. That's one of the saddest things that I have to tell the old timers now. There was never a team. There was never a large semi-connected team of people pushing back. That was always how it was talked about. It never was. So, I don't hold it against these people. They're not going to give recognition or gratitude. I'm not even going to blame them. It just doesn't make sense. They're not on a team, so it doesn't make sense for them to even do that. So, but we know it here. In our family, we're a team. In this white positive community, we are a team. We all pull our weight. We all do the best that we can do for white well-being. That's where our loyalty is. Seven Sons is here. Mark is here. Remember, tag me as No White Guilt. We'll be rolling out of here in just a moment. Nameless one pointing out what I said, quote, they found They found peace, but it was always alien, close quote. He says, that's deep. And he quotes me, it's always been in here. When I was pointing to my chest, he says, that's what I'm talking about. Amen, brother. Yep, you're not going to find it anywhere else. Ha! First, last, that's good. Wheat, barley, and corn are all inbred. I don't think I've missed anybody. Real quick check over here. I got to make the decision. If anybody thinks it's a real bad decision to stream New Year's, let me know, or forever hold your peace. Or if you think the reverse is true, that it would be really good, it would be fun, let me know, or forever hold your peace. One last quick look to make sure I didn't miss anybody. I hate that. I hate it every time. I'm like, shit. I wanted to get everybody. All right, good. Haven't missed anybody. Going to get back to work. 11:12 p.m. Eastern Time, United States, the once great state of Virginia. Helios Abbott is with us. He says, if 2023 is the year of no white guilt vindication, let's make 2024 the year of no white guilt redemption. Ah, very cool. Nicely put, my friend. Nicely put. Archangel is here. He says, is that the bat that you used to persuade the Nazi posers to go away? No. No, this was one of my actual old bats from way back in the day. Used to have tape down here on the bottom I put there because I liked my pinky spread apart from the bottom of my hand a little bit more on the bat. But that's since gone bad a long time. I can't believe it, since I kept it in good shape. So that's how it still looks good. But no, they'll go away if you just point out that that activity doesn't result in anything positive. It just loses. They'll go away and they'll slander the shit out of you. Okay. Well, good. Why don't we then fire up some 4-0, as we have done for a while here at the end of the roll-ins. Where is he? I think that's it. That's it. But I'm guessing you can still hear me okay. We'll be back on Sunday for sure, 5 to 9:30 for the gathering, but maybe longer. We'll see. We'll see who all's willing to show up. I don't know. Long stream. Otherwise, another week. It's the end of 2023. Get ready for 2024. We're going to make it magnificent. We're going to make it dazzling for white well-being. Roll out.
I have to work to be somebody. I'm a white man looking for a place to do my thing. I don't place to do my